Right, Tom, goes without saying, not the ideal start to the home league campaign you'd like. What are your thoughts after that game?
Just thought, the scoreline was sort of justified. I felt they troubled us all night, even when we had a really good spell in terms of possession, which was probably our best spell in the game, was after they scored in the first half. I thought, we were really good for a spell in terms of our attacking play, but I just felt that they carried a threat all night in terms of counter-attacking, and we didn't really ever look comfortable defending, even if their attacks were sort of few and far between. I was never comfortable when they got the ball in attacking areas, and that's sort of credit to them and a worry for us. Just huge disappointment. Saturday's result, people I think have perhaps gone a bit too negative in terms of that. It's always difficult, and it's away from home, and it wasn't a terrible performance. It wasn't brilliant, but it wasn't terrible. But tonight, as I say, particularly our defending, and more so also I felt we probably overcommitted people and played into their hands a little bit more. We should have. It's hard though when you go 1-0 down, because you sort of feel you have then got to commit people, and we probably should have just, particularly once we've scored the goal, just been a little bit more conservative in terms of our shape to make sure that we were better defensively. But as I say, credit to Tiverton. I thought they were very, very good tonight. Really young team with huge sort of energy and pace, and troubled us all night and deserved to win.
Yeah, as you touched on there, you did have a dominant spell in the first half, largely kept at bay by Tiverton's goalkeeper, who arguably was man of the match for them. Yeah,
he did really well. But, I thought they had some really good attacking players on show. I feel, without sounding like sour grapes, the second goal was a bit of a freak for them. And at that stage, I think most people in the ground would have probably felt quite strongly that we would go on and win the game. And I think they looked a little bit deflated. They've got in front, and then we've equalised, and we're sort of having a really good spell. And then this goal that they scored, a second goal, as I say, a bit of a freak, and immediately that gives them a bit of a lift and makes life difficult for us. So that was probably the only thing that we were a bit unfortunate with. But other than that, as I said, when you look at it, and when you look at the way they started the second half, I felt they deserved their win. I felt their players, gave everything for the cause, for their manager, and it's a really good victory for them.
Mm-hmm. Do you place any culpability at the feet of Josie for the second and third goals?
No, certainly not. Certainly not the second, because I just felt that was just it just went in at the angle. It sort of went in. I didn't think he could do an awful lot about that. I thought his starting position seemed fine. I thought he was very good again tonight. I don't think the third goal was his fault either. It's a 1v1. He's gone to try and. He's probably come out a little bit too aggressively, but it's a 1v1. If he'd held his ground, the striker should fancy himself to score anyway. So no, nothing at all. He was man of the match for us on Saturday, or certainly very good for us on Saturday. I thought there was a lot to like about his performance again tonight. So no, definitely nothing in terms of culpability for him.
Okay, and at the other end of the pitch, early signs of a good relationship striking up between Tom Smith and Joe Parker. They combined very well in the first half.
Yeah, it was a really good goal, and that was, as I say, in the first half when we had that spell. I thought we looked really good, and we probably, we feel a bit aggrieved with the goal that got disallowed. I think the referee said there was a foul on the goalkeeper that we're not sure about, but we had 3 or 4 other good chances, probably just weren't quite ruthless. I think sometimes when things are happening for you, I wouldn't say easily, but we were controlling things, we were creating chances, and I think you can become a bit wasteful because you just think it's going to be the next one, and everyone knows that you have that mindset, and often it will come back to bite you, and that's what happened. I think when we had that little spell, we needed to be a bit more ruthless. We needed to get the second goal, and then probably would have ended up winning the game. But as I say, we weren't very good at all, particularly defensively, and Tiverton were better than us on the night.
Cool. And how's Ollie Haste? Obviously he came off at half time, looked to be hobbling in the stands.
Yeah, he took a nasty blow. I mean, we're a bit again aggrieved at that because that was a sort of deliberate attempt to injure him, which has gone unpunished. But it's it's part and parcel of the game. People are entitled to be aggressive. Referee's not seen it or not dealt with it, and we'll have to see how he is for Saturday.
Obviously, he's a doubt for Saturday potentially.
Yeah, I think so, but it's not like a twist or a pull. It's an impact. It's sore. You would hope, icing it and swelling goes down. He's got a chance. Like I say, it's just a big impact. So I think that's the best type of injury to have in terms of trying to recover quickly.
Cool. And 5 experienced players out tonight. How's the squad looking ahead of Walton and Hersham on Saturday?
Yeah, we're hopeful that we will have. Well, we'll certainly have Will Spetch back, and I just feel, again, he's not just a big player for us. He's a big personality, and it's easy to say, but if he's playing tonight, I think it's very different in terms of how we defend. So he'll be back. It was good to have Brett back, and then I think there's half a chance that Jack Dixon might be back. I would think it'll be too early for Wes, but I think he might be available for the week after. And then Dorsey's probably the furthest away out of everyone. He's probably 2-3 weeks, I would imagine. So if we can get Jack back, we can get Spetchy back. Wes not far away. Things will change. We'll be a different animal. If at the start of the season you said, who do you not want available, the players that we've had not available will be very high on my list. But you can't moan about it. We were relatively fortunate last year in terms of injuries and availability. Sometimes it's always going to go the other way, and that's what's happened. But they're not long term, so hopefully Saturday start getting people back and the start of trying to improve our fortunes.
Okay, final question on Walton Hersham themselves, because last season, in many people's eyes, they were probably one of the better footballing sides in the division. What do you make of them this time round?
Yeah, I don't think anything will change. They've got a way of playing that's very effective, and as you say, it's very sort of easy on the eye. If you let them dictate to you and play their patterns and play through you, then you're going to have a difficult afternoon. It's going to be a difficult afternoon whatever happens. It's one of those games you could play at your best and still not win. But by the same token, I've got confidence that if we can hit our levels and with the people we've got coming back, we got every chance. And it's too soon to panic. It's too soon for huge negativity. We've got to look forward to the people we're having back, and we've got to look forward to seeing if we can, as I say, start turning things around in terms of results and points.